The opinions expressed here are those of the students and do not necessarily reflect the positions of Tyler Junior College.
Rylie Kappa Honor Society recently went to international convention and brought home numerous awards for their chapter. And find out which local restaurants in the Tyler area offer student discounts. The drumbeat starts right now.
Broadcasting live from Studio 1108 in Jenkins Hall on the campus of Tyler Junior College. This is The Drumbeat, bringing you the latest from students like you.
Thank you for joining us today on The Drumbeat. I'm Andrea Valdez, coming to you live from an empty studio to maintain social distancing. TJC Theater is returning to public performances with Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will, a comedic play that takes place in a modern-day Texas blue-collared family. Drumbeat reporter Diana Estrada spoke with a theater professor about how the changing COVID restrictions affected the play.
The theater production is reenacting scenes for their evening rehearsal with the assistance of Jacob Davis, a theater professor that has directed and helped students through various shows in the past. He explains why he chose Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will, written by Aldous Shore for production.
Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will? It's about a Texas family that has been estranged for a while, and they have to deal with the reckoning of that their dad is about to pass away, and they're coming home to get his affairs in order. So there's a lot of just normal human problems that exist in a way that is fun to look at, but is also touching.
Actors portray these moments through body language and audio cues to their audience, but empty seats surround the stage, a reminder that COVID restrictions made it difficult for an audience to attend, and it was also an obstacle for the actors to not physically interact with one another on set.
For this particular production, we are still using face coverings, but we've allowed the actors to get closer in proximity in the actual action of the piece. We wouldn't have normally done that. The company that is performing this, they've all been vaccinated.
With COVID restrictions, actors are challenged to embrace the characters in creative ways.
I think what I like most about this show is my character. Just because of how much I relate to her and like her own dynamic within her family is pretty similar to my own. And so I really feel for her, even though my life is completely different than hers.
The play runs Thursday through Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Seating is limited and performances are currently full. But if there are any tickets left over, pay attention to announcements made via student email. I am Diana Estrada for thedrumbeat.com.
The Alpha Omicron chapter of Phi Theta Kappa has completed their international convention, coming home with an extensive list of awards and scholarships. Awards include Top 10 Chapter in Texas, International and Texas Distinguished Officers Team, and 2021 Distinguished Chapter, becoming one of only 20 chapters out of almost 1,400 chapters.
We've bonded through the service opportunities, and I think that's an important takeaway for any student organization in the face of the issues that we had where you have to have social distancing or maybe you're in some sort of a remote situation, is students will almost always make time for service.
PTK will hold their virtual spring induction at 7 this Thursday evening through Zoom, and the link can be found on OrgSync. Phi Rho Pi speech team participated in national tournaments where they swept awards in the prose and poetry categories. We talked to captain of Phi Rho Pi, Jaquacy Minter, to discuss the team's accomplishments.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to the Drumbeat. Jazz Night was hosted at True Vine Brewing Company this last Thursday. Drumbeat reporter Diana Estrada talks to professor and music department chair Heather Mensch about the event.
Crowds of musicians and attendees gathered to enjoy live music from TGC and UT Tyler. A gathering of this size has not been the norm for months, but one that was greeted with enthusiasm from the audience. An event conducted in part by Heather Mensch, a professor of trombone and jazz who continues to teach jazz as an art form.
It's the only music of its kind anywhere in the world. So, and if we don't educate our students today, then the art dies. So we want to make sure that our unique American influence on the world of music continues as a great tradition. So.
Throughout the night, musicians start to add their own style to certain parts of musical pieces. This amplifies the uniqueness of jazz. Freshman Tyler Stevens enjoys the excitement and creativity of the jazz format.
Just the freedom of it that you get to have. It's anything that comes into your mind you can get to play, and most of the time it doesn't sound bad.
Jazz Night had talented musicians and vocalists that allowed their enjoyment for playing to be shared among their audience. I am Deanna Strada from thedrumbeat.com.
With tuition fees, textbooks, and housing fees piling up, it can be difficult to stretch $1 when you're a college student. Fortunately, some restaurants offer student discounts up to 10% on meals with a couple free items included. Local restaurants that offer student discounts in the Tyler area include Chick-fil-A, Arby's, Chipotle, and many more. Simply have your student ID with you at the time of purchase. To see the complete list of restaurants, visit moneylog.com, where you can also find a list of places to get free birthday meals. The Phi Pi speech and debate team has garnered more than a bit of attention after competing in the national level, earning top awards at each tournament.
Phi Pi speech and debate team has been sweeping numerous awards at the state and national level in categories such as prose and poetry. Jaquacy Minter has served as the captain of Phi Pi for this year and has been doing speech for 4 years, with 2 of them being at TJC. With the team putting in countless hours preparing for tournaments, the results speak for themselves. Minter received Top Speaker of the Tournament back in March at Community College Regionals Tournament. And a piece of advice Minter has for future speakers: Minter says a contributing factor to the team's success is that they don't focus on winning, but rather getting the chance to tell people's stories. I'm Andrea Valdez for thedrumbeat.com.
The Apache volleyball team recently competed in the NJCAA National Tournament this past week. Find out how they fared when we come back.
When I first saw Turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure love.
Welcome back to the Drumbeat. The volleyball team recently competed in the NJCAA National Tournament, coming out 4th in the competition. The team went against Miami-Dade, finishing the tournament in their final match with a score of 3-1.
I think we're playing our best volleyball, and that's kind of what's important. I think a lot of people place a lot of focus on winning during season, and we just don't put a lot of focus into wins and losses. We just focus on the improvement of our players individually and as a team. For more volleyball coverage, visit thedrumbeat.com.
The TJC Apache football team will go against Kilgore College at 3 p.m. at Rose Stadium this Saturday, so make sure to come and make some noise for your Apaches. Student Senate is looking for more candidates to run for 4 positions on the Student Senate seat. Thank you for joining us for this last broadcast of the spring semester. Remember, you can always find the latest news at thedrumbeat.com, and we'll see you in the fall.
The opinions expressed here are those of the students and do not necessarily reflect the positions of Tyler Junior College.